I'd say the primary challenge of teaching online is you have to be organized on steroids. There's a lot of planning prior to you actually teaching your course. The challenge is that there's so many tools to choose from, which of course can be the benefit. You also really need to know what your outcomes of the course are and how are you going to use that technology to ensure that students are learning what they need to learn. The benefit, though, is unlike teaching where you have a relationship with just one person to many, when you're teaching online, you have that opportunity to have a relationship with all of your 30 students. And that's really exciting because you can tailor your teaching to each student. I would say, though, I'll go full circle. The challenge then is that you have to have boundaries. It does take time.
One of the challenges is actually the technology itself, and that can manifest in different forms, whether it's a student who maybe is not so tech savvy to the unexpected things that technology sometimes presents to us, glitches and things like that. Sometimes you just have to take the student's word that they got an error message just as the closing deadline for an assignment is about to come. Benefits for my class, it being a current trends class, the online platform really lent itself to the subject matter, and I was able to weave together videos, articles from online, and other content to really tell a cohesive story. And the class that I taught previously was a once a week, 2 or 3 hour class. And honestly, I can't imagine speaking for that long at one time. So the online platform kind of took the pressure off of me to just blather on for several hours. It allowed other people to tell the story for me in some ways.
Well, aside from the connection challenge, I would say clarity is a huge challenge. It's really important to be clear and precise when giving instructions, or students won't understand what you want. So that is a huge, huge challenge that we face every day. As far as the benefits of teaching online, I think it's being available, making the education and the material available to students. You have students who live on different islands, students who don't have a way of coming to school, or students who even live around the world, and allowing them to be able to attain that education, I think, is one of the greatest benefits of an online course.
In my experience, one of the more challenging aspects of teaching online is the relationship that you can actually have with students. It's very difficult sometimes to communicate emotion, much less jokes or humor online, as you would more be able to do so in a face-to-face class. Also, I think sometimes the challenge is having your personality come out online without potentially offending other students or, somehow misunderstanding what you're meaning or intending to talk about. So I think one of the major challenges is communicating and how to do so effectively in an online forum. I think it is a learning curve for myself and the students, and I think it is a work in progress. Teaching online has its benefits, that the flexibility of schedule, the opportunity to learn and to grow as far as the online tools that you're exposed to. The drawbacks, as we know, is that sometimes, of course, students are not as responsive to you because they don't check in physically with you. So I do, think that teaching online is a great learning opportunity for myself and for students. And I hope that I continue to grow and learn as an instructor and as a student of online learning myself.
I think one of the biggest challenges of teaching online is capturing that student who is missing in action. In a face-to-face environment, I rely on other students and peers and say, hey, have you seen your friend? You haven't? Can you text them and get them to call me? But in an online environment, I sometimes think my emails go unanswered. Again, for the students who lose interest or disengage with the class, I kind of feel like I lost them. And while it doesn't happen often, I get a little bummed out that I wasn't able to connect with them in any meaningful way. For me, an online environment just really captures my organization, and I feel very, very comfortable. I prepare my courses in the winter and the summer breaks, So for the remainder of the semester, I'm not organizing my class in any way. All I'm doing is facilitating the content. I'm taking the time to connect with the students rather than putting on a quiz, making sure the timing is right, making sure my test bank is done. But because of my organization skills, that is done during the breaks. And I can really enjoy my students during the regular semester.
Challenges for the students, of course, are being good time managers, being mature and doing their work on time, and remembering to come to class. I've actually had students who, when I've asked them, why didn't you do this particular assignment, said, well, I had an in-person class and I had your class, and I went to the in-person class and I kind of forgot about yours. So the challenges for the students is that they need to be good at self-regulating, good at organization and time management, and good at remembering to come to class and do the work. What are the challenges of teaching online? It's a lot of work. I don't use publishers' materials. In my opinion, in my field, which is a small one, the online teaching publishers' materials just aren't that good. I always feel that I can do better. So I can't say I don't put the work on my own shoulders. I do, because I'm making narrated PowerPoints, because I'm making web tours, because I'm taking a video camera into the courtroom and taking real videos there, because I'm using Powtoon animations, because I'm using interactive lessons. Last semester, I edited 37 of my 150 instructional videos to tweak them in some way, either to redo them in whole or in part, add captions. That is a lot of work. I have to say, I think it's worth it for the students, and that's what keeps me going. But I would not like to fool anyone into thinking that the way I teach online is going to make it easier. For the students, there are many benefits for teaching online, because our students, generally in the program that I teach in, are working during the day. Teaching online asynchronously allows them to take the course and break it up into chunks that fits their schedule. So for the students, the benefit is great because they can get courses in when they otherwise wouldn't be able to come to campus.